Hi, this is Angel Jones. I love great conversations where life's journey is communicated not only through words, but tones and emotions. Explosive expressions that allow you to feel what they felt and learned. A fool learns only from his own mistake, while the wise learn from their own and from those others have made. Thanks for being here with us. Good night, Cindy Marvin. How are you going tonight?
I am doing outstanding.
Hey, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Thanks for taking the time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So
My pleasure as well.
Oh, thank you. A pleasure I treasure. I got that from a friend in Kenya. A pleasure I treasure. So
Awesome.
tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Well, I'm a certified parenting coach, and I help parents raise confident and self-assured, happy kids. And I got your name, I believe, through Jessica Bryce.
Ooh, yeah, Jessica is amazing. Jessica does amazing stuff with YouTube, right?
Yes, she does. She's the queen of YouTube.
I love it, love it, love it. So, who did you learn the skills to be a certified? I mean, okay, so it's one thing to be certified, but you definitely have some experience under your belt, don't you?
Yes, I am certified. I stand on the shoulders of Tony Robbins, Jolette Jai, and Janet Allison, just to name a few. They're my mentors, and they've done a fabulous job. I love them.
Wow, wow, wow. And what about your personal experience with bringing up? I mean, you said you have your 13-year-old.
Yes, I have a 13-year-old son, and I have been really working around the clock for the past 3 years to reestablish my connections with him. And, as his raging hormones, as he's growing into a young adult, a lot of things are changing, and I need to be more present for him, and I need to understand where he's coming from. So that's where all my teachings come into play, and he's really thriving right now, which is wonderful.
I can well imagine. After having these conversations, as many I've had so far, I'll tell you, listening has become a skill. And I started listening with my son a bit more. He is, at the time of this recording, just about to be 7. And hey, they're definitely intriguing. He is, to me, he's even more amazing now that I listen more to him.
Oh, yeah. And the more that you listen, he's going to appreciate that, because if he feels like he's being listened to, he'll open up to you and share more with you.
Yes, and that is the best way to be. I believe that is the best thing to be, and not have our children be afraid of us, right?
That's right.
So,
It's a
go
it's a
ahead.
peaceful parenting paradigm, we call it.
I love it. And why will you continue to repeat the skills? I mean, you've seen the before you learned, and now after you've learned what you've learned, why will you continue?
Well, we as parents in this generation, we're raising the next generation of children to be men and women. And what do we want our next generation to be like? As they grow up, we're getting older and older, and who's going to be taking care of us? So it's a turntable as years go on, and you want to have a society that's compassionate, that has empathy, one that treasures life and doesn't want to destroy, in my opinion.
I agree. I totally agree. So tell me
Yeah.
one thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years, Cindy.
Oh, well, I have learned to say the word no. Yeah.
I love that. How does saying no make you feel?
Well, it empowers me to a degree, because so many people, your time is so valuable. It's a commodity, you can't get it back. And so many people want a piece of you. And you have to learn to say no sometimes. Not that I always want to say no, but for me to have quality time with my family and with my children and friends, there's sometimes I need to say no so I can be there for the people that I love.
And why would you suggest someone work on saying no more often?
Well, as far as children go, children, and you might see it in with your 7-year-old son, they'll push your buttons, they'll want more, they'll want more, they'll want more, right? They want, and it's just natural because they're so inquisitive and they want to learn. But also at the same time, we have to teach them patience. We have to teach them to be, it can't be a me, 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 me all the time, right? So by teaching them there's more in the world than their wants is, I think, a little gem of advice to some moms and dads out there.
I love it. I read this book called Boundaries, When to Say Yes, How to Say No to Take Control of Your Life by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. Wow, that definitely changed my perspective when it came to saying no. And it justified the why you should say no. And it's really important to understand that you are actually loving the person by saying no and setting up boundaries instead of saying yes. That was an amazing book, I must say. Let's switch gears for a bit here. Let me invite you, Cindy, into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, it's funny you say that because one of my earliest childhood memories was what my dad, every once in a while, over the years, he had 2 weeks of vacation at his job. And we went on a cruise to Haiti. Now, this was like almost, 30 years ago.
Wow.
And things have changed since then, obviously. But as we pulled into the port, I was so taken back by the beauty of the island, the trees, the water, the beaches. The people were beautiful too. But what struck me was the poverty. And what I compared what I had and what these children had. I was a child then, and I was amazed. I was taken back. I was appalled that these children could possibly live in conditions like this. But it made me appreciate so much more what I had back in the United States. And ever since that time, I do a yearly purge, so to speak, where I go through my closets and I donate. I donate everything that I don't use within 12 months. I donate. Wow. To organizations in my community. I mean, you can't, go down to Haiti, but so I still do that to this day.
That is amazing. How old do you think you were?
When I went down to Haiti, I was probably about 10, 11 years old, and I'm 53 now.
Interesting.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. I'm glad that that stayed in your memory and that to this day, there was an impact. I mean, who would think at 10 or 11 that would come through, that you would see that way, right?
Yeah, it made such an impression. I think children, as they grow, and adults as well, the one thing that when you are really taken back by something that you see, it's in your memory forever.
How about when we fast forward to you being 12? What was your favorite song?
I remember a friend of mine whose brother used to love the song Philadelphia Freedom. And we had the small album cover, the vinyl. And he would play it over and over and over again. And it was a great song, and I loved it. It's like, Philadelphia Freedom.
Love it.
We used to sing that song all the time, my girlfriend and her brother, and it was just one of those songs. It was just a really great song.
Alright, so that was by Elton John, right?
That was from Elton John, yeah. And I grew up with Elton John, loving him even to this day. I think he's a fabulous person.
Super, super. Alright, so we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off this time machine, there is a small declaration form. Yes or no? Cindy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I have. I have been teaching my son a lot of the skills that I've learned from Tony Robbins on patience and appreciation and love. I've been sharing that with my son.
Are you married?
Currently, no. No, I'm not. I'm a single mom, but I've forgiven and I've learned.
Okay.
So, and that's a big thing in my life.
Do you believe in God?
Oh, certainly.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Oh, yes. Yes. I think we all need a tribe for support and love.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Some days, but most days, no. I'm too busy. I have Boy Scouts. I have, baseball, lacrosse. I have my coaching.
Wow.
So really, there's not much room for TV.
How about screen time? How much time do you think you spend on the cell phone or the computer?
Oh, computer, definitely at least. My job requires me to be on a computer all day long.
Okay.
So that's 8 hours a day, at least 7 days a week.
Wow. That is interesting. Hey, Cindy, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yes. I'd love them to learn just to stop and breathe and be present for themselves and for the people that they love. I think we only get one chance to play our role out in this lifetime that we've been given, and we really should let go of the ego and open our hearts to one another and to be authentic. And I think the world would be a lot more harmonious and peaceful if people really took that under their wing. And one last touch is that there is really no such thing as failure. You really just found a way that it didn't work. So if something didn't work, so what? Pick yourself up and you can find a new way to do it, and we will all succeed.
Love that. Cindy Marvin, thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel. You have a wonderful day.
Amazing audience. Before you leave, there's one person I'd like to introduce you to, Amanda Jones. She is my wife, and her passion is to educate, encourage, and empower.
Hi, I'm Amanda Jones, and I'm a registered nurse. Do you or someone you know have diabetes? According to the International Diabetes Federation, in 2015 worldwide, 415 million people were living with diabetes. Just as that figure is overwhelming, so too can the effects of diabetes be. So, to help simplify diabetes for both adult and child, I've used rhymes in my books, The ABCs of Diabetes for Children and Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes. At its simplest, rhymes help us to remember. If you, a child or friend, want an easy, reader-friendly way to know about diabetes, then get a copy of these books. For more details, you can go to poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.